Welcome to the Drivers' Room Endurance Championship. Once again, we're in Season 3 at Round 7 at Circuit de Croix. This is C2 layout and we're in the Group 2 cars. And after that long list of shortened words, let's get into the standings. As we can see, F1 retook the standings after last race, after a dominant win at Alsace. Pluxtheduck therefore slipped to second, with Jogger holding on to a third position after Gadget's long list of issues continue. We then have Müller, Ben, Mung, Jammy, Fours and Jules rounding out the top 10 in the championship. Something to note about today's race is we have a small grid due to a issue with the GT Sports servers. This meant an unavoidable number of drivers weren't able to access Gran Turismo. So yes, we've only got 8 drivers racing today, but I'm sure it would still be a cracking race. Let's see what happened on the grid. As we take a look at the shortened grid, we can see Plux on pole with Jogger and Gadget in third. Let's take a look down on the grid to see what the strategies of our 8 drivers are today. As we swoop down from the gantry now towards the grid, you can see Plux is on pole. He'll be starting on supers. Jogger will take second, also on supers. And Gadget in the third position in the supercar, also on supers. Jules will be starting on softs. Canny also will start on softs. V8 will be starting on supers. Rocker also starting on supers. And Halder rounding out the field on the soft tyres. Look for a fast start from Halder in the older mark of a Nissan Group 2 car. As we bring the cars up to the lights. Oh, that looks like a jump start from Plux. Yes, it was. And Gadget spun off the line and Halder punted the back. Oh my word, the carnages are good. Kind of happened before even we got across the line. Jogger swooped into the lead and Canny's up to second. Plux, because of that shunt from Halder, it looks like he's managed to kind of recover what would have been a terrible start because of the jump start penalty. We've never seen that from Plux before. As we look through the field, you can see everyone's now underway, but I can tell you that Halder was the unfortunate one who picked up engine damage in that, but Jogger's basically got himself a free first position. See how long he can hold on to that. On board with Plux. He's going to be hunting down Canny. Canny is onto the soft tyres, so he won't have quite as much peak grip. See, Plux got a much better exit out of the tight hairpin. It's one of the hardest corners on this track. As we swoop down, these cars are pretty much limited to 183 miles an hour, so the slipstream isn't really about getting you extra top end, it increases your acceleration. As we see Plux down the inside, they're both now topping out at about 183. Canny wisely lifting off the throttle, not making it too wide, as you can see Jules under a threat from V8. He's picked up an early penalty. I think that was an unfortunate tag of Gadget as Gadget span around. The game has awarded Jules with a penalty for no apparent reason. So we take a look at that chaotic start here from Halder's position at the back of the grid. So we'll see Plux will accidentally jump the start. There we go. Only 8 cars. You would expect this to have been a clean start. See if we can spot when Plux jumped. There it is. And then we'll see Gadget spear off to the left, trying to avoid Plux. And Halder does indeed smash straight into the back of Plux, and unfortunately gets engine damage. I mean, I said look for him to make a fast start. That was unfortunately a fast start and an even quicker end. As we see Gadget recover from his early spin. Let's jump back forward. We're on board with Jogger, who's now got Plux on his tail. This could be Jogger's chance to sneak a win. He hasn't had one since season 1. We were at Kyoto when he had his win in the Group 1 cars. That was a dominant victory. But since then, Nijoka's not really had the luck go his way. He's on board with V8. But all these guys will be getting, you know, really quite good points today. Because there's no F1, there's no Muller, there's no Ayrton. All these drivers, as Kenny runs a little bit wide. He manages to gather it up nicely. And Jules will probably have a go as we go down the short chute into the left-hander. I think there might have been a tag there from Jules, it looked a little bit glitchy. As V8 decides to go making sandcastles instead of driving a car. Gadget in 7th. He overtook Halder because of Halder's engine damage. Halder is now up to speed. There's Nate, followed by Plux. This corner is very important as it really kind of dictates how good your run all the way down to T1 is. Will be kicking himself. Here's Jules in 3rd after Kenny's issue with the barrier. And Rocker in a strong 4th position. There's V8 after his mistake. And Gadget is now closed up to the back of this field thanks to the errors. This will be another recovery drive for the Team Sigma driver. There's Halder, who just really got no luck at the start there. Did nothing wrong, just had nowhere to go. There's Neil. Oh, what blimey. Plux has absolutely closed him down during this first sector. Let's see what happens here. Looks like he's going to set up the same move he had last time. Swoops to the inside. Fight this probably not too hard as it's so early into the race. Oh, a little bit of contact there. Completely incidental though. There's Plux, now back in the lead after that mistake at the start. He's just needing to concentrate and race his race again. There's Rocker in 3rd. Oh, wait, he's in 3rd. Looks like Jules has had an issue. He's dropped all the way to the back of the grid. As Gadget swoops past Canny there. Let's take a look at that as we were busy looking at the leaders. Here's Jules. So we made it through the kind of more... Oh, he just went wide. And, oh, that's awful for Jules. And he swoops around, spins it out, and has got engine damage. That's going to drop him all the way to the back of the grid. Terrible luck for Jules. And there's Gadget, who's got down the outside of Canny. This will be interesting. She's overtaking him so early on. Canny's going to slip back into the slipstream. Is he going to have a run on him into that uphill left-hander? Gadget is on the outside, but he has got the better quality tyres, and he does swoop round the outside. Gadget already starting to make up places. There's Rocker in 3rd, but a big gap has already started to form between 2nd and 3rd place. There's V8 in 4th. Gadget now starting to make some moves. Gadget will kick himself if he doesn't finish at least P3 today. This is a deceptively difficult corner. You've got to brake earlier than you think, otherwise you get an upset car as it comes through the corner. Oh, Gadget looks a bit wide through there, and he isn't. Oh, into the barrier, and he's got engine damage as well. It's going to put him right to the back of the field again. Gadget continues to just have no luck this season. Every race he seems to have some sort of issue or problem occur, and it just costs him so much time and so many points. So we're on board now with Rocco's run wide on the next lap, and that's going to cost him P3, I think. There's V8. Looks like he's almost alongside. Oh, 360 camera expected him to be ahead. Sweeps past. Looks like Rocco might have lifted off. Didn't want to fight it too hard. Now we're on board with Jules and Halder. So Halder, of course, holding on to these positions for now because of the two cars behind's errors. And we've now got a 3-car fight. Gadget getting a double slip, but they're now going to all be topping out. These cars, everyone's got base setups. Unfortunately, that means you can't change your gearing as he swoops down the inside because Jules made a mistake. And Gadget's now going to try and get Haldo. Forward with the 360 cam. And it might take a look down into the double left-hander, into the tight left-hander. No, it doesn't get him there. I'll have to work on him through the tight infield section. So now back on board with V8 and Rocker. Of course V8 got through into P3. Oh, he's running a little bit wide there though. That will give Rocker a chance. As we go back on board with the lead pair. Looks like Plux has pulled about a second and a half, 2 seconds gap. But not showing the sort of pace he showed in qualifying yet, Plux. Like this might be in the 8s, yeah, that's about a second off the pole time that Plux set. And there's an e-jogger. It's important to note also because of the delay in starting the race, qualifying was only 20 minutes long. So everyone effectively got 1 lap to set their best lap time. Oh, Plux has hit the cut. Oh, and he can't hold it, and that's in the wall big. And that's going to allow Nijogger back through. I think Plux was trying to push a little too hard through there. Just got out in the grass, and this is the second time we've seen that happen to Plux in a Group 2 car. Last time was at Dragon Trail last season, and this time it's bitten him again. Let's see what happened here, because Rocco got past V8. V8 clattered the wall there. And I said earlier on, this is a really important exit because it dictates your run all the way into turn 1. Rocco pops out the slipstream, but I think it was a bit too aggressive a move and he lost himself some speed. And V8 will hold on. It is important to note that all the cars are running a special sticker. If you might have noticed it compared to their normal liveries of a Bon Voyage sticker for Jammy. He's not going to be with us for a few weeks, a few months. And Jammy D was a big part of this community. He will be missed. He does a lot of live streams. And all the cars will be running stickers faring him well on his travels. As we see Nijogger there in the lead. And gifted it again because Plux has decided to just smash into walls instead of driving a car. Plux will be kicking himself, but he's got to get his head back down because this is a pretty much an open goal for a 27-point score. No F1 here. These F1 and Plux are very much in a tight fight for the championship. Rocker in P3, and Canny there in the 5th position, having a quiet race so far. He is on the soft tyres, so will be running longer, and he might be able to use that strategy to his advantage. There's Gadget. get back to the front with D-Jogger. See how the pace differential between the two cars are. Tyre wear is surprisingly light around this track. That's why everyone's running the super soft tyres. They are holding on better than you'd expect around this track. All these guys on supers will definitely be doing a two-stop strategy. Those on softs might be trying to do a one-stop, though it will be difficult. We're back and forth with this good fight between V8 and Rocker. V8's one of those drivers who's got a lot of pace, but does quite often make mistakes. Cost him good points. And there's Canny. Looks like he's just trying to affect his potentially one-stop strategy on softs. Gadget's starting to pull away from Jules, close in on Canny. Expect the guys on supers to be on around lap 6 or 7. We're predicting a 19 lap race today for the leaders. And this is such a long track that it's likely that everyone is going to do the full 19 laps if they stay with us throughout. There is Rocker and V8 still having this battle. V8 staying with him. This is the most important run probably on the track. There's this long back straight, gives you a good chance to slipstream up to top speed faster than your opponent can. V8's probably going to be topping out pretty much now. The Rocker's not really far off. You really do have to get an excellent launch at that corner to affect a perfect overtake here. Oh, a bit of contact between the two cars. V8 ran in with a bit more speed than he needed to. But that's what happens sometimes in the slipstream. You lose some aerodynamic performance in the dirty air. This is a good ding-dong battle between those two. As we continue on. Oh, Rocker's gone wide. We've seen V8 make a mistake, we've seen Rocker make a mistake. Twice now. They're side by side as they come out the hairpin. Let's see if we can find him. There's Rocker, tucking into that slipstream with that menacing looking Lexus grille. Not sure I can really describe any other Lexus as menacing. Oh, a bit of funky braking there from Rocker. Engine sounded not exactly happy. Rocker can take a dive down into turn 1. Nope, he decides to back out of it, but he does get a clean run through there. But V8 got back on the power a little bit better as we run through the fast section. With low fuel and fresh tyres, this section feels incredible in these Group 2 cars. And there is Gadget on the back of Canny. A little bit wide from Gadget there. I think he was probably focusing a little too hard on Canny's car and not flicking in. Goes to that wide entrance. Oh, we see a mistake there from Rocker. So another mistake from Rocker that's going to give V8 the podium position. Looks like he just ran it wide into that hairpin. So easy to do because you've got to brake quite late. And these cars don't like changing direction and the braking too much. Switchback corners like that hairpin are quite difficult in these cars. As we see, Gadget got a good run up the corner, he's up the inside, and Canny's just going to go, oh, but Gadget clonked the wall on the inside! I think under braking, the weight transfer going uphill gave the car a little bit too much purchase on the front. Gadget went for it, clonked the inside wall into the barrier and went on the outside. So sticking with Rocker now. Do make fantastic noises, these Group 2 cars. Really aggressive sounding engines. I believe they're either V6s or 4-pot engines actually. Not 100% though. Gadget's still on the back of Canny. Got a better run through that corner though. Canny hit the grass, and that's going to allow Gadget straight back through. And that's an excellent demonstration of the problems of turbo cars. If you have to lift off, you lose boost pressure, and then you've got to wait for that turbo to spool back up. So we're now back on board with Knee Jogger and Plux behind. Let's see. Knee Jogger has done 2 ends. Interesting to see how Plux is doing. Doesn't look like that gap isn't getting much smaller at the moment. There's V8 in a comfortable third position. Rocco is probably kicking himself after that error in the Atari car. And Gadget, who's going to be bearing down, looks like Rocco got a bad exit there. Back on board with Knee Jogger. Oh, so Plux was about second slower than Knee Jogger on the previous lap, the lap before, but then 2 seconds faster than Knee Jogger last time out. Tyre wear seems fairly level between the 2 cars. Plux finding a bit more pace at this point in the race. As we see Gadget on, into the pits now. Fueling up. This is quite a high fuel wear track. Long straights. There's Jules in 6th position now because of Gadget's pit stop. Canny, who'll probably be running long, as will Jules actually. There's Plux, who seems to have used the most fuel of everybody, but it's a bit rare for Plux. He usually is one of the better drivers on fuel mileage. But he is probably driving a little more aggressively than he usually would. Over the bridge. Tyres are starting to go off there. If you look, he's already 1.4 seconds off his personal best. And halfway around the lap. Expect to see these guys in at the end of this lap probably. The Knee Jogger will maintain the lead unless he makes a mistake, and will probably have to take in less fuel. So we're on board with Rocco and Canny. Top 5 finish were easy. These guys would do masses for their points total in the championship. They'll probably vault up a couple of spots in the championship. There's Knee, still maintaining the gap over Plux. I do think Knee's been using his time out front probably to maintain that. Manage his fuel actually. He's probably thinking, okay, I'll let Plux catch me up, burn his tyres out and his fuel. I'll save some fuel and some tyres, have a shorter pit stop, and then just keep playing this game for the rest of the race. That's what I guess he'd do. That's what I'd do in his position if he knows he hasn't quite got the ultimate pace over Plux. But he hasn't made any mistakes, and that's a big part of racing, is not making mistakes. Watch the leaders through, they'll probably pit this time. Yes they will. There's Knee Jogger. And will Plux follow him? Yes he does. Knee Jogger's used 8 litres less fuel than Plux. That's a big number when you consider they're in identical cars. Fueling up. Knee Jogger's already done. Less than 60 litres. Plux just over 60, so Plux again knows he's going to be using a bit more fuel, having to catch up. So we're on board with 3rd, 4th and 5th. Rocco's in the pits this time. V8's on supers, but he's staying out for another lap. That's a risky decision. It's quite common for super tyres to go off in a bad way once you're at the end of their life. They can really kind of go off what was used to be described as the cliff in F1 during the 2011 season. jogger after the pit stop. You can see the gap has opened back out slightly. See what the guys can do on fresh tyres though. There, running in the first position. Down that main back straight. I'm going to go straight on the track. Into that fast left-hander. Back on board with the leaders on lap 10 now. See the gap is starting to drop between them. Has set a new fastest lap of the race, well, fastest lap personal best. Didn't quite hit those fresh tyres as hard as Plux did though. But look, Plux was a couple of seconds quicker last time, only he's about 6/10 quicker this time. So Nijogger is starting to find his form. In season 1 he was known as a bit of kind of a qualifying lap style racer. This time looks like Plux has got a good run. Won't be enough, but it will allow him to start using the slipstream to gain a little bit of pace. Right on board with Nijogger. Like I say, either car's going to gain at this point on the straight. Nijogger has been consistently fast through this section, and again it looks like he's just a little bit more comfortable through that uphill left-hander than Plux. Plux giving it everything into the braking point on that track, that corner. If you want to join the driver's room, then hit up Gr.2 or myself, or pretty much anyone's driver tag you see on that left-hand side. They will point you in the right direction. We've got our Thursday series, which is what you're watching now, which is our Endurance Championship. And on Sundays we have a double header. We have the Sunday League, followed by the Super Formula Series, run by MJR_Mercer. But like I say, you give anyone a message on PlayStation Network who's on that leaderboard on the left, they'll point you in the right direction. So we see a rocker there, all running wide and clattering a wall. Just what you want to do. That's how to improve the aerodynamics of your Lexus. Smash it into it. So we're back on board with Plux. So we see Haldir has decided to put the car into auto drive. Which Nijogger probably could do without. Probably would have preferred Haldir to be an actual car. So we could get in the way of Plux a little bit down the straight. Down into the final corner, final proper corner of the track, and we rejoin them almost exactly a lap later. Looks like Plux has got a little bit closer, but not a lot. At times they're staying fairly stable. So we're back on board with Gadget, who's also now overtaken the auto-driven Haldir. In the fourth. You can see Canny and V8 have now pitted. As we're on board with Jules and Canny, looks like Jules might have got a run here on Canny. Canny, who's, I believe, just pitted. Possibly could go for a one-stop strategy to the end here. No more stops. Yeah, he has pitted. So he could get back up the order with this. Fourth, that would be a great points finish for him. A nice move by Jules there on the grippier tyres. One thing to note about Canny is I have heard rumours that he's switching up the team for next season. He'll no longer be running for Intersport, he'll be running for his own team. sponsors come on board as we're on lap 12 now with the leaders. Plux is closest he's been since he made that error on lap 4. He's worked hard at this, trying to get back past him. There's Nate. The tyres are starting to go off, but they are in better condition than Plux's. Plux looks like he has got a great launch out of that corner. He's right in the right sort of range to be able to make the overtake stick. Maybe not actually, looks like he got a good enough launch, but this will pull Plux right in close. You see he's slowly closing in, and now they're both running to the limiter. Here we go. Through the fast left-hander. I expect Nijogger to pull a little bit through this corner, it's one of his best on the track. Expect Plux to throw everything and the kitchen sink at him. So go down through the downhill left-hander. This corner's blind on entry. We haven't really shown that off on camera at all. That is an extremely hard corner. Common way of trying to work out when you're going to brake for it is there's little white marks on the anchor barrier of the bridge on the right hand side. You can kind of count yourself into the corner and then throw it in. So you see Plux has gained a lot through that one corner, and he's actually had to go defensive here. This is a favourite hunting ground for Plux. He set up a similar move, and here we go. Close as they've been, will Plux get a run? These joggers defending the inside line. We've lost the camera just for a moment, but look, round the outside, he's going to have the momentum round the outside of the corner, swoops back in front of Nijogger. That's an excellent move by Plux there. He did exactly the same maneuver on Gadget, I believe. No, he did it on Mac in the Group 3 race here in the A layout last season against Hit the Mac when he was still driving with the driver's room. Plux probably need that coming into that sequence of corners. Only put Nijogger under pressure, but here comes Nijogger now with a run. Oh, a bit of contact there. Again, incidental. Looks like Knee probably just wasn't expecting Plux to brake as early as he did. There's a flash to say sorry. These things happen though, it's racing. There's Gadget. And you can see after all those errors he had early in the race, he's a good, must be 25-30 seconds behind now. So he's out of it when it comes to the first or second, but he should be able to hold on for a good third position. There's Canny sliding around a bit. And V8, who seems to have been the real loser in the pit stop phase actually. I'm not sure why Canny got past him, because you would have expected him to be ahead. He might have had an error, which we did see on camera. On board with Plux, who's very nearly out of fuel. We head into the pits. They're both pitting this time. Yep, Plux. Well, was 3, but it's officially been counted as 4 litres less than Nijogger, so it looks like Nijogger's burnt a little bit more fuel than Plux actually did this time around. You remember it was 8 litres difference on the last stint. Let's see what the fuel's like. Nijogger could jump him here if he's feeling confident on his fuel levels. They are both out and Nijogger has done it. He is through. Gadget's probably coming in as well this time. Looking at that level of fuel in the car. So we head back up to the leaders. Right, Plux has now got fresh tyres. He's got Nijogger about a second ahead of him. If I were him, I'd be going for it on this first lap. Don't let Nijogger get settled. Pressurise him straight away. The longer he runs in this dirty air, the more damage he'll do to his own tyres. Here we go, down into that left-hander. It's all about the launch, and Nijogger's run wide onto the marbles. That's going to give Plux a mighty run. Here he comes. He's going to probably use the same overtake he did on lap 2. when he got past Nijogger for the first time. You can see there the jammy sticker on the side of the Pepsi car. There's going to be very little Nijogger can do here. Plux has stolen the inside line into the uphill left-hander. I would have moved over and forced Plux around the outside. Oh, Nijogger had to get out of the steering there actually to not hit Plux. But he did get a better exit. He can have a look down here. Maybe he can throw it down the inside. He had a little look, trying to put Plux off. There's Jules in fourth. He's very low on fuel. There's Canny. He's still got about half a tank. He might, if he's careful with his fuel, he could make it to the end here, which would be a really impressive achievement. It should tie him up a nice fourth position, which would be a massive haul of points for Canny. Rocker in seventh for now, but of course we've just... Oh, V8's hit a wall, I think. V8 hasn't pitted and he's got engine damage. You can see the red flash. And he's just going to watch Rocker drive away from him. What a shame for V8. He's had a real issue this race. He started off so strong. He was in third for a good portion of... Oh, Jules runs wide. And Canny on those less damaged tyres looks to be holding steady and could be in a really good position for a great haul of points. So really good work by Canny. He's had a P5, I believe, before in the first season at Blue Moon Speedway. This should be a repeat for at least fifth. If he holds on to it and can keep that that one stop. Rocker's pitted. V8 hasn't pitted yet. So he's had a few issues, and I've said this before. He definitely sometimes throws away good point halts. There's Gadget. He has pitted, he'll be good to the end. Canny is in fourth now, so I'd assume Jules has pitted. Yep, we can see that here. He's behind Rocker. So this is going to be a tight fight, because Canny's a fair way ahead, but I wouldn't say it's all fine and dandy for him. Shame that Canny's going to be changing team at the end of the season. One of the caveats in the rules of the Endurance Championship is if you change your driver team, then unfortunately you forfeit all your accumulated points in the annual championship. So it's a harsh rule, but it's just to stop people just changing their livery all the time and no one knowing who's driving what car. We've seen a few drivers opt for this. Some of the more established livery designers who just kind of like throwing on a new livery and don't mind so much about points. The drivers focused on the annual championships haven't dared do this yet because they're still fighting for a good solid finish. On board with Jules, he's got lap fresher tyres than Rocker. I'll be hoping he can get past him. This corner feels fantastic on fresh tyres as we're on board with Plux. He's just set new fastest lap and is starting to pull that gap away from Nijogger, but he's got to be careful not to destroy his tyres too quickly. These two have very different driving styles, even though they're in the same car. I'd say Nijogger's a little bit smoother in places. You could hear that difference in the engine and the throttle application there. Plux launched it out the corner, whilst Nijogger was a little more gradual in how he got on the power. Gadget, he is known for being very smooth, despite having a not very smooth season. But strategy and some good solid pace has got him back into the podium positions, which he will be pleased about. 4th. He is starting to close in. Plux actually, a little bit of difference between their lap times, I believe. Plux burnt those tyres out a little bit, taking that 306. He's going to have to be careful not to overdo this, because he's fought long and hard to get this win back, but Nijogger could have a surprise still in store for him. 2 laps left, I believe. There's Gadget running through. Setting some consistent, pretty fast lap times now. Can he? You can see 5th and 6th behind him, but he's still got a good shot at this, as these two probably will battle. Oh, Rocker. Going for it now. Let's see how Jules got past Rocker. Oh, a big dive down the inside. That's a pretty ballsy move there by Jules. Oh, great work. Well, he will have to fight off Rocker, who's going to have the slipstream there. Jules with the pressure tyres. Rocker with the slipstream. Will he get to the inside? Will Jules cut him off? A flash of the hazard lights there. And they both run out of puff at the end of the straight. And I think Jules is going to hang this on. Or hang on to this, sorry. Let's use proper English. Back with Kenny. Oh, a big wall hit there. That's not going to have helped him out. Just locked up those front tyres, I think. There's Rocker. And Kenny's bailed. He's gone to the pits. That's a real surprise. That's going to drop him all the way to 6th. What a shame. He had such a great run going. Couldn't quite make that one stop work. He'll come out on some super soft tyres. He's not even put any fuel in the car. He knew he had enough fuel. What a shame for Canny. As the tyres fell away from him. I would have tried to struggle on if I was him, but I'm not, so he's free to do whatever he likes. It's a shame to see a couple of good positions fall away from him. That would have been his best finish in the Endurance Championship so far. Still a good drive by him, of course. With this cut down grid, you can get away with mistakes and still get some good points. Sets off after these two. Remember, the camera is deceptive. It makes the gap look a lot smaller than it actually is. It's quite a large gap between those two. Nijogger has... I think he's closing that gap in again. So this is good work by Ni. As we're on board with the final lap, you can see he's definitely closed that gap in. Plux is going to have to be careful. The gap used to be about 1.3, 1.4 seconds. Nijogger's done a lot better job on the tyres and the fuel. He just hasn't quite had that ultimate pace, but now he's coming back at him. He's forcing Pluxtheduck to wring everything out of that car on the final lap, and well, Plux has hardly been impervious this race, really this season actually. Nijogger's been Mr. Consistent. He had a run of, I believe, 4 third places this season. This will be a second place for him, of course, with no Miller or F1 to steal it from him. There's only non-third place. There's been a 4th, I believe, in the first round in the DC he had in Adultopolis, where he probably would have finished second actually, with all the errors that happened there for drivers. So he has been the model of consistency even when the internet's let him down. Plux, on the other hand, has made lots of errors. Bad car choice for round 1, made an error in round 2, round 3 made the error but recovered it. Gadget's another driver who's had a bit of a scrappy season, lots of recovery drives, and probably cost him a chance at anything better. As you see V8 there just waiting for the timer to click over because he didn't fancy doing another lap, which is fair enough. He knew he wasn't going to get any further up the grid, so he might as well just take the 7th place, bank those points, and that will probably shoot him up the grid, up the final standings a bit in the championship as we watch Plux. Does seem to be holding off Nijogger. He will manage to take that clean sweep, it looks like, unless he absolutely... No. Comfortable, smooth through there. And I think, yep, hazards are on, the celebration's gonna be there for Plux. Do the old wiggle woggle across the line. Flash of lights from Nijogger. Both these two had a cracking race. So we see Gadget there finishing in the strong third after a few issues. And there's Jules taking a solid fourth place. Rocco's kind of slipped away at the end there on those older tyres, but a great finish for him. P5, a nice bank of points. Good work by him. You can see Howler took 8th. We'll see can he probably cross the line. There he is. Take it nice and easy. No point pushing now. Can't gain any more points. Just get it home. Good drive by Canny. Shame he couldn't make that one stop quite work out, but a nice haul of points. A great drive. So, after that slightly different sort of race, you can see in the standings already, hardly be any scorers there because we had that shortened grid. But yep, Plux has taken the lead back from F1, and that will make the championship much more interesting going into the last round. Nijogger is solidifying that third position. Gadget moves a little bit further away from Muller. Jules jumps up a position, I believe, and Rocker does too. So yeah, good race all round. Thanks for watching. Catch us for the finale next time bout.